Jennifer. Just coming in with a bit of a different angle, but this is where my difficulty is that I have leaders who are not fully employing the LMS and all the content that we have, and I want to do a learning journey, but at the end, then I have groupthink because everybody is going to look exactly and sound exactly the same because they've all kind of gone through this same path on what good looks like. So one of the things is I want them to, fall in love with learning and then say, once they've done my journey to say, I want to go learn even more. But that's where I was hoping to maybe hear from this group if there's like, how do you aspire to inspire to get them to do even more than that minimum?
I think it goes back to the movie analogy. So what happens when a new movie comes out? People review it. You have your fresh books reviews, and you got YouTube reviews, you have all the reviews. So if you could get your champions talking about this in some way, shape, or form, then that may encourage others to come along on the journey with them. But they may also see a person who is in that same spot as they are and seeing them grow, and they're like, "Oh, I want to follow what they're doing. So I want to follow along that path." So I think the more people you can get talking about it, and you gathering those pieces of information and putting it into a live space, I think that would be real. That's the best way, right? Word of mouth. What do the rest of you think?
I think it's gonna depend on what it is. I mean, but some ideas could be, um, y almost like if collaboration or building, like, your peer networks is important, they could almost facilitate a book club discussion. Or, like, if it's something that they learned, um, there could be, like, a quick, a lunch and learn or something where they're sharing what it is. I think it still depends. I mean, actually, like, when you're in person, food always is a big draw, like, at lunchtime or or have snacks. Um, but, yeah, I mean, it is the struggle is, like, how can we find, like, a carrot, for people to participate? I know this is again in the past, and it's a food thing, but, like, if you participated in a group, like, you got a lunch pass that you could use later. So I wasn't doing it for the lunch pass, but that was a nice perk. Um, I don't I don't know. I mean, I think you have to respect that people have a lot on their plate. So sometimes it's a build it, they will come and just be like, okay, have a couple have a couple people and let them also then advocate for the next one and I mean, have realistic expectations if you start something that there may be fewer people
Mhm,
who are participating, but as word gets round, um, they will. I mean, it,
mhm,
it has to do with again, a pull versus a push.
right.
I can say, actually, I'm participating in a program right now that it's nice because it's like people from across the organization and outside of like who I would usually be working with. And one of the nicest things about it is it doesn't involve any pre-work. You go to this session, so it's on your calendar. We all watch a short video, like a snippet of a TED talk or something that's, just an engaging video, and then there are guided, conversation questions. And again, it's a peer who's facilitating that, who doesn't have necessarily facilitation experience, but they're just helping guide the conversation. And we have conversation guides that accompany
Mhm,
each of these sessions. And they happen every 4 to 6 weeks. So it's not anything that's like, like, my gosh, it's a burden to participate in this. Um, but it's just neat to start that conversation with people from other parts of the organization and to learn more. So, I don't know.
no, that's great.
Yeah.
That triggered an idea for me. I don't know about the rest of you,
And by
but
the
the
way, this
yeah,
was all done not by learning. So I look at it and I'm like, "Oh
right.
my god, that's what we should be doing." So it's almost like because it wasn't sponsored by learning, I think there's a greater participation. So maybe it's just put our egos aside and say, it doesn't have to come from us. It's about changing and shifting and people wanting to learn and gather and, you know, kind of meet new people virtually.
Mhm. Completely agree with you. Yes, I love that. And like I said, that just popped up a few ideas in my head because it is about being peer led, and that's the best part of it. And that's what's going to encourage everyone, to continue to move forward in their own journeys when they see their peers doing it, when their peers are talking about it.
Yeah, and it was voluntary whether you wanted to even participate, and they made it they were like, "Oh, it's limited the number of people," so that created this, like, urgency to sign up sooner rather than later, and then it was also, "Are you interested in being a facilitator?" And so,
Mhm,
again, it's a pull, not a push. It was voluntary to do that, and but then they had such an overwhelming response that they actually now have kind of makeup sessions on the books. So for people whose cohorts couldn't meet, or their small groups couldn't meet, they're facilitating sessions that work and in different time zones and the whole bit. So um, again, it's interesting, and we meet people in small breakout rooms. We have conversations. So um, it's just neat to meet other people across the organization in a
mhm,
non-work related way, but we
mhm.
can apply what we learned to our personal lives and to our work lives, and so it's all integrated. So,
Yes. Thank you for that.